Let's Play. It's the webtoon I've covered most, with 7 videos if you include this one. And it's the webtoon that solidified my success on YouTube. Can you guys just give us 1 second? And today we're doing another installment, but it's not just 10 episodes this time. No, as I was reading the webtoon in previous videos, I noticed there's seasons to this webtoon, and season 1 ends on episode 75! So I had a decision to make. End part 7 on episode 70, making future Chalupa go ballistic for having to deal with a season finale and a season premiere all in one video, or add 5 more episodes to my current workload and save future me from a lot of grief. I think the choice is clear. Also, in case you want to know how we got here, just watch the previous parts in the playlist. No recap. Another thing, since it's 15 episodes, instead of 1 episode segments, let's do, 3 episode segments. Alright, I guess that's everything, so let's get right into this ad time.
Wow, this 𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴��� webtoon is so amazing. My favorite character is definitely Daniel Park, who is totally above Johan despite what everyone says, but alas, he's not real, and therefore a conversation with him is impossible.
What if I told you it is possible?
How did you get in here?
Today it is possible with 𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴���. 𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴��� is an AI chat box that has over 100,000 different personalities and characters, all of which you could talk to if you download the app right now. Oh, but I hear you say I'd rather talk through voice, not text.
I didn't say anything.
𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓂 allows you to make calls with the character that you want to talk to, with only the press of a button. Wait, what's that? You don't want to talk to any of the characters? Well, why don't you make your own? That's right, you can make your own character with just a couple clicks of a button. Just give your character a face, a voice, an introduction so you know who you're talking to, an opening line of dialogue for it to say, and you're ready to talk! And since we can talk to just about anyone, let's ask the main character from the last video, Jeff the Killer, some questions. Jeff, is it true that your design in Jeff's Disorders is stolen from Alistair?
How did you know that? I thought my design was original.
I'm sorry to say, but the comments on every single video I've made on you so far have said otherwise.
I see. So what do you think? Do you think I should change my design?
Alright, here's what I think you should do. Firstly, base the design off of the creepypasta. Oh my gosh, look out for those missiles!
Oh god.
𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓂 also has categories of chat. You can have battles, imagine yourself in a certain scenario, or even have an adventure. One thing I do gotta add though, these are simulations. It will respect your privacy, but don't get too into it, you know? Anyways, let's see how this guy is doing talking to Daniel Park from 𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓂. He's clearly enjoying himself, and guess what? He's doing this without having to spend a dime! That's right, it's free! And so what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to make all the AIs you want to go crazy! Ad over. We come back to Sam, Link, and Markiplier, with Sam and Link arguing over Mark staying over at Sam's place. Link's arguing he shouldn't stay the night since they'd be alone together, whereas Sam's saying he's so sick that he must stay. What do you mean, what trouble could he be capable of? You know, if you said something like he's so sick he can hurt himself, then it makes sense. But phrasing it like that makes it sound like Markiplier is an unpredictable monster that could cause catastrophic damage to society. She eventually starts taking this so personally to the point she even starts crying over this. Dog, it is not that serious. He's just saying that considering the history you two have, you shouldn't stay alone together. And in response, you just start... Thankfully, Markiplier interrupts them and says he'd like to go back to his apartment for a number of reasons, but the main one is probably that girlfriend of his. Be glad, be very glad Markiplier has some sense, Sam. Had things gone your way, I don't think you would have survived the night. After showing so much concern for Mark to the point of even making dinner for him, he asks her why he's helping him after all the trouble he's caused her. And then we get a flashback that explains why, with Sam in the hospital after being exposed to the 5G, and her comfort YouTuber all along was Markiplier. But no more time for heart-to-heart, Monica has arrived. It also shows here that she was always concerned for his health, just that she was annoyed last time we saw her since he didn't listen to her. Now that she's back, Sam can go back home, and all is right with the world. Sam? Please don't. You have this guy waiting for you at home, and this guy has a girlfriend, so go back home, be with Lincoln, do whatever, and don't even think about being a homewrecker! Sam's in her office, and she winces in pain from the stupid injury she's got. Yeah, I called her injury stupid. You know why? Because we see here Link saying it's a pretty deep wound and she may need stitches. Man, no she doesn't! We see here she just touched the freaking flower with the glass shard in it. She'd need to have firmly grasped it with all her grip strength in order to get a deep wound. They then asked each other about being more than just friends, and if they wanted to kiss each other the other day. The flashback's finally over, and Sam's talking with someone she wanted to hire for her game, but it doesn't seem like it's good news. We then cut over to Markiplier, and guys, this brings a tear to my eyes. Yes, everyone, it is the return of the plot! We have waited ages upon ages for the plot to continue, wondering when the freaky would end and the lore would start. But finally, we're here! I can die in peace. Markiplier starts off his video saying he's playing the game again after realizing he played it incorrectly before, so he's gonna give it another try. You know, it'd be funny if even after playing it correctly, her game was still trash and he's even more harsh than the first time. Markiplier plays the game, understanding this time around that it's a puzzle game, and honestly, the way he speaks sounds less like a YouTuber and more like, I don't know, a game journalist? A real gaming content creator would give commentary infinitely more engaging than this. Hammer me! He then tries buying a weapon for his journey, but he somehow lets the cat AI outsmart him, and he's stuck with a letter opener for a weapon. And he can't get a refund either. Cat AI is also too quick for him. See that? That's how hard Sam should have grabbed the flower in order for it to give her that bad of an injury. But no! After a faint touch, her hand potentially needs stitches. How delicate is Sam for this to have done that much damage to her? I don't even want to imagine what stubbing her toe does to her. Markiplier then gets a quest, clearly based off of Little Red Riding Hood. But wait, what's this? She trapped her own friends in the game? Oh my gosh, don't worry, I'll get you out of there! Going back to Sam at the office, she's talking with someone who worked on Ruminate and she wanted to hire for her new game. But, well, the conversation can be summed up with... Markiplier arrives at Grandma's house, absolutely certain the big bad wolf is gonna come out. What did they do to Edgar? You can lose sight of the plot or get freaky all you want, Let's Play, but you never mess with Edgar. Messing with Edgar? That's something I take personally. So treat him with the respect he deserves or face the consequences! As it turns out, it really is the big bad wolf. And this time, Red Riding Hood is also a werewolf. All he's got to worry about is Grandma, though. This werewolf is all bark. She can't hurt a fly, let alone Markiplier. As he makes his escape, it becomes clear that Sam tried to insert as many of her friends into the game as possible, with herself being a ghost and Abe being a ranger. We cut right back to Sam talking with the artist, catching up with her on all the details about the whole Markiplier Ruminate thing. Then we focus in on Charles, who seems to be eavesdropping on this conversation, as he just says, interesting. What type of devious plot is this guy making? He's got his hands together, he's smiling, his eyebrow position? None of these things indicate anything good. I'm not sure if that's what they were going for. Regardless, Sam, I hope you've accounted for the wild card that is Charles. Otherwise, there is no hope for that game of yours. Angela's getting ready to go to the gym, asking Vicky if she needs anything. Oh, hey! You know, I was a fool to think that after a couple episodes of No Freaky, that maybe, just maybe, we could go through a whole video without having to censor anything. But oh no, we just can't do that if it's a Let's Play video. What even is the point of her being nude while making fruit salad? Do you feel more of a connection to the fruit? As she gets to the gym, she notices these girls swooning over a guy and... Alright, let me at least talk about what goes on a little bit. Link asks Angela if she can tell her how Sam feels about him, since she's not sure if he's in love with Sam because he doesn't want to do anything intimate with her. I mean, I guess I can understand it. He only loves her in a sibling manner. Well, at least I would understand it if none of this imagery was there. All this time, you had to figure out how you feel about her, and when the chance is right there, you get cold feet? You know what? This isn't even Link's fault. This is just bad writing. Bad writing for the sake of shipping Sam with this mischievous British. Angela then gets her after a kick and... 60 episodes. 60 episodes deep, and you guys couldn't even drop a hint? There was the one hint from earlier in that one episode, but before that, nada! Markiplier notices his dinky little weapon is actually strong against werewolves, which is why the fake Edgar was hurt from it earlier. Speaking of which, he tries to get the Abe stand-in to help him handle the werewolf situation, but he just doesn't believe him. With that, he's given lines of Fallout 4 dialogue to convince him, and out of these three options, I think it's pretty obvious which one's gonna work. But just in case, I'll let you guys figure it out. That's right, he intimidates Abe so much that he's given no choice but to help him. After they successfully capture Skillet Monster Poster Child, Mark and Abe do the hardest handshake this webtoon has ever seen, and apparently memories like this are how save slots are unlocked. Markiplier is about to give us some more game journalist dialogue, but fortunately, Monica stops him from speaking out of concern for his health. Wait a second, Let's Play has only been freaky for who knows how long, so... Good golly. Markiplier, if this is the last we see of you, it's been an honor. We then cut back to the city Markiplier was in earlier, and it seems like the cat merchant has returned, so... Charles buys a quill pen instead of a weapon because Charles is so smart. He's then able to figure out very quickly that Red Riding Hood is lying to him. We then see him actually playing the game at home since Charles is also so rich, and someone asks Charles if he's coming and we see... Oh, come on! Look man, in all honesty, what's on screen isn't that bad, but since I got this guy watching over me like a hawk, there's zero chance of me being able to include this uncensored. We go over to Sam, who's flashbacking over when she and Link were asking each other if they wanted to kiss each other. Why are we finishing this scene now? She asks herself about her feelings for Link and if she's selfish for feeling the way she does, which has a little animation to go along with it, which is... it's kinda cool. But Link then tells her she doesn't need to answer him, which makes Sam tremble and cry. What? We return to Markiplier, and so does the depression. It's clear he loathes himself for actions that weren't entirely his fault, but since he was still the catalyst, he gives himself the full blame. After pushing himself to play the game to atone for his actions, he does a quest for Witch Vicky, who's just actual Vicky, who's got a problem with cat people invading her garden. Wait, I know you'll probably figure out a way to do it, but if you just let me. He gets the clever idea of using the werewolves to clear them out, as apparently they're not evil, just cursed. Wait, my bad. I said werewolves, plural, when I should have just said werewolf. There is no hint of intimidation coming from her, man. She is all sunshines and rainbows. Ain't no way she making it out there on the streets. Interestingly enough, this game is actually therapeutic for Markiplier, as his depression is fading away. Man, that's honestly great to see for the guy. Hopefully that's the last of the mental problems we see for him. Oh no. We go back to Charles and that one lady, where we learn that Charles has actually done something based, where he skips the sexy time to game. She is furious with him, telling him not to come crawling back to her, and he replies by saying it was her that crawled towards him. He then adds the cherry on top, complimenting her Botox injections as her face barely shows a hint of anger. And honestly, yeah, they did do a pretty good job, all things considered. She looks just fine and not like... We see Charles has a ring in his pocket, and we immediately get a flashback to answer any questions we may have about the ring. Charles arrives home, asking for his wife, and... No. Please don't make me feel bad for Charles. Gosh, and of course the way they make me feel bad for him is in a freaky manner! Charles is about to assign Sam to do something, before noticing how bad the cut on her hand's gotten. Since it'll clearly get worse if ignored, they decide to immediately go to the hospital, telling Lucy to reschedule his— Hey, we can green screen this! Sam's dad sees the two leaving together and instantly puts 2 and 2 together to form the rational conclusion on what's going on. Charles then tries to correct him by showing it's not what he thinks and Sam is injured. Markiplier's next quest is to stop a troll from asking people for money to pass the bridge. Hold on. A lot of characters have been modeled after her friends. I think I know who the troll is. Turns out the guy's just lonely and just wants someone to talk to, regardless of if the talk is pleasant or not. So Markiplier devises a plan to get him some company, where the cat people go over to him, and Markiplier is captivated by the scene playing before him. But unfortunately, that causes him to not pay attention to anything else. Markiplier, like I said earlier, it's been an honor. Sam's dad was initially going to cancel everything to take Sam to the hospital, but Charles reminds him that he needs to stay in the office, forcing him to let Charles take her. And if he fails him, it'll be all over for Charles. Gosh, this panel is unironically funny. Unfortunately, Sam has no sense of humor and just apologizes to Charles for what her dad said. Glazer. The doctor finally arrives, and it turns out to be none other than Sam's brother, Jay. He's alright in my book, since he's ops with Charles, who is obviously the villain in the story. As seen here, he admitted it! Apparently, he can't medically treat immediate family members, so he calls in his girlfriend Ruth to come and help. I swear on everything, I thought her name was Truth when I first read the panel. Jay is a bit suspicious about Sam's health, asking her if she's done her respiratory exercises that would presumably help her with her asthma, and knowing she's lying, he tickles her to see if he's right. He reprimands her for not taking care of herself, which admittedly he could tone down the attitude a little, but he is most definitely saying this out of place of concern for his younger sister's health. But the oh so great Charles comes in and defends Sam. Man, am I glad you were here to be the mighty defender of Sam. After getting treated, Sam starts crying because she was stuck with a needle. Charles then pulls out a handkerchief to help Sam wipe her tears. The season finale is right there. Let's just get to it. Markiplier reunites with the cat merchant, demanding only the best of loot that he's got. He gets a guitar. He's so immersed in the game that his depression is almost faded away and powerless, which honestly, great for him. If the game is so good that it keeps away the negative thoughts, then let him play away. Unfortunately, he's so immersed that Monica is furious that he chooses to game.
I married a man, Hank, not a gamer.
Jay tries warning Sam about the dangers of being friends with Charles, but Sam just yells at him to leave her be. Little does she know the true horrors that lie in the mind of that fiend. In the car ride back home, Charles brings up that he ended up playing Sam's game, and he won't give her a review until he's finished it. Smile all you want, Sam, but I'll give the guy one thing. He's honest, so if he hates the game, he's gonna let you know. Markiplier finds himself fighting the true form of Sam's dog in the game, and once more the tiny weapon comes in handy as it saves both him and the Link stand-in. And then... eventually, through some Undertale, you must show mercy to win! He tames the beast through the power of music. With only one quest left, he goes to the Sam Ghost to completely finish the game, which is giving the Sam Ghost a proper burial. And finally, he has finished the game properly. And here he goes again with the game journalist commentary. Wait, hold on, he stopped. I wonder why. No. Sam and Charles are talking about the game again, but who cares? Markiplier is getting low-diffed by the depression. Wait, what? They know each other. They must have been you who manipulated all of this somehow. He then tries to atone for his past mistakes, telling Sam he's terribly sorry about what he said about the game, that the game is great. And then he dies! And that's where Season 1 ends. Clearly a ruthless cliffhanger, at least for the Let's Play fandom. Now firstly, let's get on to the positives for these couple of episodes, starting with Sam's dad still being consistently the funniest character on screen. And now on to the negatives, starting with... what was the point of any of this? Look, man, you want her to end up with these two worst options? That's fine, but at least give a real hint from the get-go and not some shoehorned, lazily written love story that makes me react like this! It's clear they're going for some sibling-like relationship between Sam and Link, but if that's the case, why have this panel? A bit of an odd reaction to your sister, all's I'm saying. Well, unless it took place in Japan. Now, I'm not sure if I brought this up in a previous part, but let me bring it up again regarding the entire season. The pacing. Good golly, the pacing. Why do we have flashbacks to finish scenes for us? These scenes could have just as easily been finished when they were actually taking place, but the creators of this story have some addiction to starting a new scene, finishing an old scene, then continuing on with said new scene, and repeat! Animes do that, yes, but at the very least, they are doing it to save time and money to fill up the entire episode because animation takes a long time. Plus, they are adapting it from the source material. This is the source material! What is the actual point for putting in so many stupid flashbacks? The black background? Just make the whole series like that if you really like the background color being black. Otherwise, please tell me why the pacing is so awful. Here's a scary thought. A Let's Play anime made by the same people that were in charge for the pacing of the One Piece anime Wano arc. By default, it becomes the world's longest anime. Then there's Charles's whole character. He just has an appeal to me, man. I exaggerate how much I hate him whenever I'm doing bits, but I can't see why the webtoon comment section likes him so much. Cause for me, he doesn't come across as some charming, smooth ladies man, and more like if I spend the night with him, I'll end up as soup the next day. Plus, it's annoying how they make him as perfect as can be. No flaws at all. Well, actually, there is. Maybe if I were a woman or gay, I'd get it, but I don't. Then there's the fact it took us this long to get back to the plot, the same plot mentioned in the synopsis. And let's not forget what was happening in the meantime while the plot was being forgotten. Heck, even after the plot return, the freaky still manages to come back. Like, once you think you finally escaped from it, it pops up when you least expect it. You know what? Let me talk more about the freaky. How did the webtoon go from "my favorite YouTuber said my game was bad" to "I must get that once"? And another thing, it looks like they're hinting at Monica and Markiplier breaking up, which is, I mean, if you're gonna do it, this is not the way to go. It feels like it's trying to make me root against Monica at the end, since it doesn't look like she cares for Markiplier or something. But man, from everything we've seen so far, that feels incredibly forced and out of character. She clearly cares for and loves Markiplier, so instead of walking out on him, I'd expect her to try and sit down with the guy and tell him the issue of pushing himself to play the game while dangerously ill. Heck, earlier in the webtoon, it was shown that she does just that when she has concerns, even concerns that are just pet peeves. So why write her like this just to get the Sam and Markiplier ship sailing? Maybe we could have focused more on the idea of having to hide the relationship, making it not work? It's a shame, really. You're making me root for their relationship much more than I root for Sam and Markiplier being a thing. I'm sorry, man. Even though this series had some moments that were funny, some that showed some promise, overall, it was poorly written for the sake of shipping its own characters together while sprinkling in some NSFW moments. Sorry, did I say sprinkling? I meant to say dumping the law! All I'm hoping for is that the second season works with what it was given from the first season and tries to fix the writing. And no, I don't mean accommodating the story for me. They can have Link be with Angela and Charles continuing to be perfect. Just don't write so lazily, cool it with the freak, and stop putting in pointless flashbacks. Hey, well, by the time season 2 started, they had a break, so who knows, maybe a break was all they needed to get their groove back. Please don't pop up. No. Anyways, I think I said everything I wanted to say regarding the first season of Let's Play, so I think that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching this video in its entirety. Remember to download Talkie through the link in the description so you can annoy all the AIs you want. If you guys like this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you guys haven't already, then consider joining the Patreon or channel membership to gain early access to these videos. If you guys have any video suggestions or any other webtoons you'd like me to read, then please leave it in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.